A very warm Roski School of Fine Arts welcome. I'm just so delighted to see all of you, that you could all join us for this rather innovative event. We have never done anything quite like this, and from all of your responses, I think we should do it again. Everybody seems to be having a terrific time. I want to welcome everyone. I want to particularly welcome Dean Ruth, who is here, and I want to introduce President Stephen Sample. I am really so happy that President Sample and Catherine could be with us today. It really means a great deal to us. And I have shared with a number of people that really the best part of my deanship, the thing that really has made me look good, is that I have totally coincided with President Sample's presidency. This is what makes you look good. So we were counting up the months. It's 18 years in March that the Samples have been here. As you know, he's an electrical engineer, but also a musician, an outdoorsman, an author, an inventor. He is truly a Renaissance man, and under his presidency, the arts have flourished at USC. We're very aware of this, and we're very grateful. I invite President Sample to come up and speak to you today.
Well, I want to say that my presidency has been so successful because I am coterminous with Ruth Weisberg. Ruth, would it embarrass you if I told the story about the Institute for Biomedical Engineering? Well, Ruth was at a private dinner party for a man who is a great patron of the arts, Alfred Mann. And she sat next to Mr. Mann. And it was on a Sunday, and she got home, called me at home at 10:30 on a Sunday night. And she said, "Steve, do you know Alfred Mann?" I said, "No, I've never heard of him." And she said, "Well, I just had dinner at his home. I was sitting next to him." And she said, "He's been trying to give $100 million to his alma mater, UCLA, for several years, and has been very unsuccessful at doing that." And Ruth said, "You know," she said, "I think you and Hal would hit it off." So I called Mann the next morning, cold call, and I said, "You don't know me from Adams off Ox," but I said, "You know Ruth Weisberg." "Oh, yes. Lovely person, fine person. Was at my home for dinner last night." I said, "Well, she thought you and I ought to get together, Mr. Mann," which we did, and I think 4 months later we had the $100 million, and he was elected to our Board of Trustees, and so we always felt Ruth ought to get 10% of that. There ought to be a finder's fee or something like that. But here's this wonderful practicing artist and dean of the Fine Arts School who saw the potential for USC if she could get the president of USC together with this rather frustrated potential donor. And I've always been amazed at that. I can't imagine that would happen at any other university in the United States. But we're very entrepreneurial, and the deans are in particular. And Ruth, I'll thank you again and again and again for having made that call to me that night. In any event, Catherine and I are very delighted to be here with all of you. This showcase by our faculty and our students represents an energetic confluence of the aesthetic and the intellectual, and the melding of time-honored technique and fast-forward technology. It's clear to me that the Roski School of Fine Arts, under the leadership of Dean Weisberg, is successfully crossing disciplinary boundaries. We have fine artists working together with engineers, with architects, and with musicians. This is what's known as interdisciplinarity. Most people can't even pronounce it. It's not the most euphonious word, but interdisciplinarity is the cornerstone of the research university of the 21st century. For decades, the operative model in universities was the individual silo. A scholar in computer science worked alone or only with other computer scientists. An historian was sequestered in the history department and maybe once in a great while made a brief foray over to the literature department. But what we're seeing now is that when disciplinary boundaries are broken down, when the borders are crossed and disparate fields come together, the sparks of creativity and innovation burn brightly. And the fine arts, more than any other field, are predisposed to engage in these stimulating conversations with other disciplines. So much goes into the act of artistic creation. Dialogues with history, philosophy, psychology, sociology, poetry, physics, biology, and now also with multimedia technologies, computer science, and other engineering disciplines. At these border crossings, at these bridgings, our fine arts faculty and students are creating extraordinary art. A graceful navigation of the two worlds, tradition and innovation, is in evidence all around us here at the Roski School. In part because at USC, interdisciplinarity is more than just an academic buzzword. We actually do it. And another buzz phrase in academic circles these days is tradition and innovation. Here again at USC, we don't just talk about balancing tradition with innovation, we do it. We cherish our history and rituals. We continue to nurture long-held values such as academic freedom, respect for differences, and love of truth and beauty. But at the same time, we embrace the new. We encourage questioning, the status quo, taking creative risks, and innovating. A graceful navigation of the two worlds of tradition and innovation is in evidence all around us here at the Roski School of Fine Arts. It makes me very proud to see that our students are taught traditional skills while being exposed to and encouraged to explore new media. This is one way we make sure that when they graduate, they're equipped to succeed. Our students in the School of Fine Arts enjoy many advantages. First, a caring and visionary dean, world-class faculty, well-equipped studios, forward-looking curricula, and the city of Los Angeles at their feet. This last advantage is very, very important. Not only is our city the de facto capital of the Pacific Rim, it has also become one of the world's most creative cities. LA is an acknowledged hub for contemporary art. We have 55 museums and 260 art galleries. We have a powerful collection of art and design schools and a wonderful mix of creators and innovators in fashion and game design and other digital arts. We have the largest art colony in the world at the brewery just east of downtown. Taken across all artistic fields, Los Angeles has more practicing artists than any other city in the world. Imagination and innovation are LA's heritage, part of our DNA, part of our innate character. What an advantage for our students. They have another advantage in the form of wise guidance and encouragement from the school's board of counselors and other friends and supporters. I want to recognize and thank Gail and Ed Roski for their extraordinary commitment to this school. Actually, 90% of that recognition ought to go to Gail, but she is ill at home, and so Ed's here as a poor substitute, he said. Actually, not so poor when you get right down to it. But the Roskis made it happen here. And what a difference it's been, don't you think, Dean Weisberg? When you get that endowing, naming gift, and you have a person's name on the school, it just makes all the difference in the world in recruitment and everything else you can think of. And many others amongst my fellow trustees give so much of their time and resources to this school. Susan and Alan Kasdan, Phyllis and Dan Epstein, Helene Galen, Eileen and Stanley Gold, Ellen and David Lee, Elaine and Kenny Leventhal. All of you who support the Roski School of Fine Arts are like muses for our faculty and students. Your belief in our students and faculty inspires them and affirms their talent and potential. You've made it possible for the Roski School of Fine Arts to achieve distinctive place amongst the world's elite art schools. So I want to thank our students, our faculty, the dean, and the school's volunteer leadership for letting Catherine and me share this day with you. We're very, very proud of the Roski School, and we're very enthusiastic about its future. Thank you.